Now, a Hutch's weather update with Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson, brought to you by Robert Gibb and Sons.
Hello, everybody. Meteorologist Hutch Johnson here joining you. It's been an active evening of weather here across the Southern Valley. We do have some rain showers up north. We're going to get you caught up on the latest. We have a very strong thunderstorm working its way through portions of southeast North Dakota. And these storms spread all the way down to the Gulf Coast states. But we're going to take a close look at what's going on as some more rain now just pushing into the FM area heavy at times. Where is the severe risk? What's going on the rest of the night? We'll answer all those questions. But first, let's get right to a look at that radar. A couple of things point out all these little orange circles you see here. From the outside view, it looks like there's a lot going on here, but those are the individual thunderstorm cells that are out and about tonight. Southeast North Dakota, we have just good, strong thunderstorms and thunder showers in Richland County. These are non-severe. There's some reds there, so maybe some small soft hail, but that severe risk, not here. As we see more yellows and oranges here, these are generally just kind of garden variety thunder showers, still fairly strong. And earlier in this area, there were some photos and folks that did report seeing some funnel clouds. Now, back over here to the west, if you look out towards Jamestown and point south, this line of storms here, Montpelier, all the way through Gackle and in towards Lair, those storms remain strong. In fact, there's a National Weather Service severe thunderstorm warning that's been issued for this long line of storms stretching from southwestern Stutsman County all the way down into that Wishick area. And on the southern flange of that is where the strongest storms are. Now, moving out of Ellendale, heading into Lemoore, we have a storm. Marion, all the way up toward Litchfield, we have storms making their way through. But again, some hail from these cells that have the deeper red colors in them will be possible for sure. But these storms here with the pink right near Gackle and point south, and these storms down here to the far south near Lair, have been stout, weakening a bit over the last couple of scans. That's the good news. Let's take a look at what the Weather Service says about these storms right here and the warning for these storms in southeast North Dakota here. So let's go take a look at the text. 1.25 inch diameter hail from this thunderstorm warning at 7:12. So just a couple of minutes ago, it was 9 miles northeast of Gackle. And it was basically moving east at 30 miles per hour, 60 mile per hour wind gusts, and $half sized hail possible from these storms. Lair, Judd, Gackle, Green Lake, Danzig, all these places, Alfred in the path of these particular thunderstorms, and that's what the National Weather Service says. Again, Hutch's weather is a two-way street, so please let me know what you're seeing. I've already got some video of something I'm going to share with you right now, a little bit of hail that happened earlier, and we'll talk a little bit more about these storms because the risk of severe weather, I think, is shifting down to the south and out to the west and west of Bismarck, and we'll go over all of it here, and I will answer your question. Ryan, is this taking all the rain from us and giving us strong winds in Hazen? I'll get back out to the Hazen area here momentarily. For now, I want to focus on this storm that is severe warned, and then we'll get to your question. So thanks for your patience, Ryan. Much appreciated. Okay, so the storm that's making its way into out of the Wishick area has been showing some signs of rotation. In fact, for a while, the National Weather Service was using the verbiage tornado possible. I think there was a possibility there may have been a spin up or so with this storm, at least at the cloud level, because there was some tight velocity or rotation showing up with these cells. Now, this is more of a broad area of rotation that's showing up. Nothing super tight, but kind of an outflow right here. Whoosh, you can almost see this backward C shape. So some very gusty winds flowing in that storm. Still some broad rotation with this storm as it works its way south of Lair right now. And again, moving east at about 30 miles per hour. If we go back just a little bit and loop the velocity data here, you could kind of see it was a lot stronger just moments ago as it was south of Lair. So outside of Wishick, right here on highway, well, just south of Highway 13 as it crossed, well, what is that? 49th Avenue Southeast out there. That was some pretty tight rotation in and around those parts. Now, there's still some stronger wind speeds, but they're not next to each other. They're kind of spread out. So this area is showing some signs of rotation. That storm, south and east of the Bismarck area, heading towards Fredonia and Cullum, that's rotating. It's moving east at about 30 miles per hour. So let me go ahead and analyze this for you, and you can see as the crow flies with this cell. It's only about, 16 miles away from the Cullum area right now, and I'll turn that off and we'll analyze the movement of the rotating part of the storm and where it's going, east, northeast, 30 miles per hour. based on the latest data from the National Weather Service. Now, as we take you down, that's going to be in or near Cullum, more likely just south of Cullum. I'm tracking the rotating part of the storm right here. That will be in about 25 minutes or so. So take a look at the timestamp, add 20 minutes to it and another 5. That's 37 plus, that's about 742, 740 or so. So a strong thunderstorm, gusty straight line winds and hail will be the main concern with it, but it is rotating. So I wanted to get to that. Now elsewhere, southern Stutsman County, this is a long line of thunderstorms that's working its way in. As we look in on the Gackle area, we do have some thunderstorms making their way. Look at the regular reflectivity. You can see the pinks here. There's still some hail threat there. So we have a core of this thunderstorm right here that's got some hail. You see this little bite taken out of the storm there. Let's see if there's some shear or rotation in there once real quick. A little bit of weak shear in the storm there. Nothing as strong as down to the south, just to the east of the Wishick area. So keep that in mind. But that cluster of thunderstorms moving southern and western Stutsman County right near Gackle and heading towards Sydney and heading right into Judd. Those are very strong. And the Fredonia storm, that one has some even tighter rotation there. Yep, and so a review of what you should do as these storms approach, gusty straight line winds and hail. Definitely something you want to just stay away from those windows for, and let me know if you're seeing anything with these particular storms. Now, there is one active warning that just got expanded, and I'll have to move to the Bismarck radar so you can see this. So this will address some of your questions now. I'm going back so we can get Ryan. Ryan, I apologize. A lot of names popping up through here. So Ryan, the storms are south of you and there is some rain south of you and it's kind of robbing you a little bit. Now we're seeing some shower activity in Richardson, Taylor area, moving into Hebron. But as you look up north toward the Hazen Bay area there, it's definitely a little bit drier for those areas. So Beulah, Hazen, not seeing the rain at all. Yes, these thunderstorms indeed can rob some of the moisture from you, but that does not mean you're cut off. I'll show you why. I do want to talk about this line of thunderstorms here. There's almost like 2 waves of energy working its way out of the atmosphere through the southern parts of North Dakota. Notice the trend of movement toward this end of it is moving north and east towards Bismarck. So there's still a chance tonight. But this is a big storm system, and it will continue to wrap moisture around all the way through the day tomorrow, at least for the first half of the day for central North Dakota. And here in eastern North Dakota, many in our area will have passing showers of moderate to heavy rain throughout the day. And we're talking some significant rainfall amounts. So in answer to your question, I will show you a look here, Ryan, at my forecast rainfall amounts for the region. Now, this will give you a picture right here. Let me put it up on the screen for you to answer your question. Boom. Here you go. So if you're looking at Lake Sakakawea right here, I'll zoom in on it for you, Brian. And you know where you live, but Mercer County, the Oliver County area, center North Dakota, see the darker reds. Those areas could see an inch or more of rainfall as this batch of thunderstorms now makes its way northward. Anybody under the thunderstorms could have some more significant rain. But indeed, there's going to be places, as is always the case with thunderstorms, that just flat out get missed. So let's hope for you, Ryan, you do get some good showers of rain from this. Now, as we look off into the eastern part of the state, it looks very wet from basically Kidder County, Stutsman County, all the way up into northern parts of Minnesota. Any of this pink and red nonsense, 1 to 2.5 inches of rain will be likely for many areas, not all. Thunderstorms are odd creatures where one half of town could get an inch and the other half of town gets very little. So keep that all in mind. Thank you all for sharing with others that Hutch is going live and keeping everybody in the loop here. Let's go to some video here that was shared with me a little while ago. And I got to say thanks to my friend Tyler for uploading this video for Hutch here so we could see what was going on as the storms moved through the Foreman area. This was at 5:42. Here you go. Take a look and listen with me as you can see these hailstones just crack-a-lacking down. And watch how fast they build up. This is only a 30-second video. And Tyler captured the event here. Very heavy rain. And I asked Tyler what size were the largest stones. And the report was nickel. So those are nickel-sized hailstones that fell. That would be just below severe criteria, but that's just no fun on those young crops out there. So hopefully we didn't get a lot of crop damage from these storms as they have worked their way through the region tonight. Very heavy rain. We are concerned about that flooding potential, so let's review that. And again, I will take a look. Thanks again, Tyler, for sharing your reports. Now, anybody here watching on this stream, if you have information for Hutch, just go ahead and pass that along. And let me know what you're seeing. Hi from Valley City, Janine. Good to see you. How does Emden look for the, these are moving in, storms coming to pass through? That's a great question because we have a large area of storms that'll be making their way through, but pardon me. But this is going to turn into a wet rain event, if you will, a wet rain event. Whoopsies. As we go through the night, late night tonight and into tomorrow. So many areas that aren't getting real heavy rain now will have a chance at seeing some of these showers work their way in. Okay, so as we take a look at, anywhere from Emden and Castleton, you could let's zoom right in here. Right now we're kind of in a break here. Here's Emden by the hand there and not far from Castleton, but there are some showers and thunderstorms moving their way in. Notice that everything that moves north of the watch area here kind of really loses its oomph, its punch. And we talked about this earlier, but north of this line, what we call potential energy in the atmosphere to cause rapid rising air is just much lower. So any storm that moves north of this line is really going to fizzle out with regards to its risk for large hail. There could be small hail. There could be heavy rain, lightning, and such. It's moving right into Jamestown now as we go to the latest scan. So just south of Jamestown, Homer, Ypsilanti, you're seeing a very heavy batch of showers making its way into Jamestown in the next few minutes. It's on the southern edge of the area right now. Now, as we look at Sanborn and points south there, as we go into Barnes County, there is a thunder shower making its way toward Valley City. You are north of the line where the risk of severe weather is greatest. So I'm not anticipating severe weather up in this area. I can't rule it out, particularly as we look at this little batch near the Charlotte area, Gackle. These areas here are under a severe thunderstorm warning. But notice this. If you remember, we were just looking at this and the intensity on these scans has gone down from pink. See that? This time up at the top, let me see if I can load the time back up on here. It seems to have disappeared. Okay, let's go to another radar and let's go back to the radar. Okay, so for whatever reason, I don't know why I know why. Let's go there. Now you can see the time. Okay, so here is a look at the radar. This was back at 7:01, and so this is the better part of 25 minutes ago. You can see the bright blues. That is the hail core. That hail core has fallen and collapsed out of the storm, has this little backward C shape, so likely some gusty outflow from that storm as well as it blew its way out towards Charlotte and through Gackle now. So the good news is the large hail potential with this particular thunderstorm does seem to be waning just a little bit. The warning does continue all the way down through near Cullum, Fredonia, and all the way down towards Lair, and these storms moving northeast at about 30 miles per hour. So basically going to impact rural parts of, say, western Lemoore County, western Dickey County with some gusty thunderstorms. And this storm down by Fredonia, by the way, was tightly rotating for quite a while there as it moved away from the Wishick area. So we'll see if there were any reports. I've been watching from that area to see if there were reports of anything peculiar from those storms as they made their way through. So looking for your updates. Rain steady in North Fargo. Thank you, Gail. Hey, there's a lot of kids graduating high school, including one of mine. And so my youngest is graduating high school, Moorhead High. Go Spuds. Hey, a lot of folks are going to the graduation ceremony. That is tomorrow night at the Spuds school here in Moorhead. But it's going to be a rainy day throughout most of the day. But as we go through the day, some of you up north will have a chance for some flakes of snow in the forecast as well. Hail, please stay away. Thanks for the update. Lisa, thank you for watching. Pass the good word. You can always tag a friend in this video and say, hey, Hutch is covering some severe weather. But I appreciate your word of mouth letting people know. And you're looking at, again, I also appreciate your support of passing the word, but supporting my sponsors. So keep my sponsors top of mind. Robert Gibbons Sons, premier sponsor here at Hutch's Weather, and, well, Precision Lawn and Landscape as well. They have Hutch's discount, by the way. Give them a call and ask for Hutch's discount. On lawn maintenance, that's 10% off. On bigger jobs, 5% off. Give them a call today for all the details. But all right, back to some severe weather coverage. This storm, this watch that we have, a severe thunderstorm watch in yellow all the way south into parts of Nebraska. And you see the flashing pink and red here? Yes, we do have active tornado warnings outside of Ogallala heading toward North Platte, Nebraska right now. These are some beefy storms. Observed tornadoes have been on the ground. And in fact, there is an observed tornado warning for this cell. I'll take you down there right quick because these cells are making their way into Paxton and heading toward North Platte right now. And let's take a look at the spin in these just for comparison that you can get a feel for what a storm that's really producing some tight rotation might look like over the last several scans. So you can see the areas of orange and green together, and where they're closest, that is where the rotation is the strongest. But really for this one, we'll go back just a little bit. You can see that this one really has a history of some tight rotation. Do you see the bright greens next to the bright reds right there? That was very tight. That was when that warning was initially issued. And then as it moved through, that rotating part of the storm down here was a little bit outside of the warned area. That happens sometimes, okay? But we also have this little couplet right there, that area. So still a dangerous storm that's working its way south of Ogallala, but that entire area under a tornado warning. Now, these storms, there's more tornado warnings in the deep south as well. When we go down here towards Lawton, Oklahoma, Alta seeing a storm. This was an observed tornado a while ago, flash flood warnings there. Observed tornado, 2.75-inch diameter hail. That's baseball size out there, folks. And that's in the plains of Oklahoma taking place out there. Here's a look at the radar as I switch the radar to that local one. Now, this is what greens next to red look like when you get one of these real deep south tornado alley, likely strong tornadoes on the ground. Do you see how bright the greens and the reds are? It's very easy to detect where that rotation is. Doppler radar, a huge tool for us meteorologists to keep our eyes on the skies and what's going on. Now, as we dive south a little bit farther, we still have tornado watches in parts of Texas, Abilene, Sweetwater, but check this area out just off to the east of Waco. Let's switch to that radar. This is an observed tornado as well. Lime-sized hail is a threat also with this cell. Let's turn the radar on. Boom, here we go. And now this storm system, you can absolutely see with this one where it is. Oh, that town is called Bald Prairie. And if you see this green and red, how bright they are next to each other, that's some very tight and strong rotation. Wind moving toward the radar, and then right next to it, wind moving away from the radar. So yeah, this severe weather stretches all the way down to the Gulf Coast states, Waco, Texas area, and up in our neck of the woods, not a lot of tornadoes, but some funnel clouds reported to the National Weather Service. So again, our area seeing active severe thunderstorms. We do have that one not too far from Jamestown that has been weakening. Watching from Terrebonne. Thank you so very much, Melissa. Good to have you on board. So sick of cloudy, cold, rainy weather, Deb says. And you know what? I saw a lot of folks out in Western North Dakota on the drive back. I had flown out, was out in the desert for a week, going to a wedding. So, but coming back, a lot of people were seeding along in south of I-94 between Bismarck and, say, the Valley City area. And now this rain is coming. That's pretty good. That's not bad. But a lot of people have already seeded, and we got a lot of soggy conditions coming our way, and even some snow. I'm not kidding. There could be some accumulating snow and some cold as well. So there's a concern that we could get some upper 20s, low 30s in a few spots out there as we go through. That's not very good on crops, but let's hope that, actually having wet crops can help keep the plants from freezing. So maybe the rain will help hold some of that back. We'll just see. Let's get to that forecast. I'm going to pull it up here on the model guidance. So let's go to the model guidance. We'll go to the this model, and we'll go over here, and I'll turn the time bar on for you. So hopefully you can see it. Shazam. Okay. Also, let me turn off the tornado risk, and we'll look at the, well, I hate to say it, but we need to know what type of precipitation we're getting. Now, if you look out in Montana, the forecast for Montana, these red areas out there south of Billings and Bozeman, winter storm warnings. The purple that you see there in Cody, Wyoming, that is a freeze warning for that area. Now, we're not going to be getting a lot of snow like them, and it's not going to even hit Bismarck or Fargo, but up north near the international border, watch what happens as we set this into motion. So here's your forecast as we load up the model here. Give it just one moment, please. while it's thinking, and here we go. Here's our storms tonight. You can see them moving through, and look at this system swirl. So you're asking about Beulah Hazen. Look at this rain that's going to be persistent through the overnight hours through much of western and central North Dakota. Your best chance of rain in Hazen, Beulah, and Lake Sakakawea area and points west of Bismarck is tonight and into tomorrow morning. And then this whole spiral of rain, you can kind of see this counterclockwise spiral right here is going to slowly work its way eastward. As it does, the rain chances out in the western Dakotas will end. But north winds will be sucking down some mighty cold air, and that cold air is going to start allowing a mix with snow. Look at Brandon, Manitoba to Winnipeg. The radar, the future radar here, 11 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, is going to have a chance for some flaky weather as we go through that area, and maybe even into North Dakota. This is one model's rendition of it, and you can see, oh no, look at all of this area that could see a chance for some flakes. And this is even into the afternoon. Now, will it accumulate? This is some heavy bands of rain. So I am predicting that because of the moisture and the temperature, that the flakes that we do form in the clouds are going to be huge. They're going to be those sticky, wet, heavy ones that stick together, the flake clusters that are the size of Hutch's fist. Yes, we could get some slushy accumulation as we go through the midday hour. This will continue to wrap its way through. Notice, not a great chance in Fargo. Notice, maybe Devil's Lake and points north. But if you go up into Walhalla, Bottineau, Belcourt, Rolla, Candu, Rock Lake, those areas will have a decent chance at seeing some snow. And that's just redonkulous this time of the year. And will there be some accumulation? Yeah, there's a possibility. Hutch has a graphic for that. Let me see if I can find it. There's an app for that, I'm sure, but let's go with the graphic for that. Here we go. All right, let's load that up for you. Okay, so as we go through the morning into the afternoon, the best chance at any accumulation at all will be near the international border. Now, this says 6 inches this time of the year. That would be ridiculous. But it is not uncommon, and it is not unheard of to have an inch of snow this time, even this time of the year. So I think 1 to 3 inches along the border and up in towards Brandon, Manitoba, and Winnipeg are a possibility. 1 to 3 slushy inches of snow. 2.54 centimeters per inch, by the way, if you Canadians want to convert from inches to centimeters. So 2.5 about. And south of there, that'll probably be more slushy as you go into the Devil's Lake Basin and on the Highway 2 corridor. So that's what that's looking like. Some snow in the forecast, and this is Friday. Now, if we go back to the model guidance, you can take a look, but this system, by the time we go to, look at the time there, 7 p.m. on Friday, it really wraps out of here quickly, okay? So, northern Minnesota, continued rain. This is into Saturday morning at 3 a.m. And then, if you're having graduation parties this weekend on Saturday, it's a 3-day holiday weekend. It will be cool to start the day. The rain will be on its way out. The sun will be on its way in. It will still be windiest in Minnesota, less wind in Fargo. Very nice out in the western part of the Dakotas as we go into Saturday. Things will look pretty good even into Sunday. Now, we can't rule out a spotty shower here or there as we go through the weekend, but nothing like this big wallop we're getting tonight and into the day tomorrow. So that's a quick look at your forecast. I've updated your 7-day planner for you. Let me get that out. Oh, here's something else fun for you to look at for tonight. If you do happen to get some hail, we want you to be careful with how you compare hail sizes. Some of us say, hey, it's marble size hail, but marbles, we can have those, the boulder size marbles, the regular size marbles. But sometimes you don't have a ruler for you. So measuring is best with a ruler. Find the largest stone. We want the largest diameter stone. That way we know what was up in the cloud level. And you measure the largest diameter of that stone. So a 1/4 inch would be a pea-sized hail. 3/4 of an inch is a penny. So if you happen to have any change with you, you can compare them to pennies. A nickel, by the way, is 0.88 inches, but you could say nickel-size hail. That's helpful. Then we have quarters. Once they hit quarter size, that's severe size hail. And, well, there's the fun ones. Tennis ball, baseball, golf ball, and grapefruit-sized hails. 4.5-inch hail. Now, that's pretty mean hail. So I appreciate your reports. Thank you so very much. Just a little bit of a lesson there on how that goes. Now, here's your planning forecast. 36 degrees on Saturday morning. So Friday in Fargo, we're going to see snow. I don't believe we'll see any flakes at all, but temperatures will be 58 early in the day, maybe by 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. And then after that, we're dropping into the 40s. So the rest of your Friday looks cold, blustery, and gusty northwest winds as the storm with the rain exits east. The rain in Fargo will be in the morning half of the day. In the afternoon, it looks like it should be exiting. I can't rule out an isolated sprinkle on Saturday, but we're going in the right direction after a very chilly morning. That's a warm up of 30 degrees by my math. Then it looks like we'll be near 70 for the remainder of your holiday weekend. Again, I can't rule out a few sprinkles here and there, but by and large, most of Sunday looks delightful. So we get most of Saturday afternoon, most of Sunday delightful, a spotty sprinkle into the morning on Monday. And then next week, the models diverge quite a bit. I'm not too confident in these 80s here. I'm just going to say that right now. Some models are a little bit cooler, but we will keep you updated. So Tim from Boston, hi. Tyler from Grand Forks. Let's look at Grand Forks, shall we? You don't have the intensity of the rainfall we do now up north, but it rained for the better part of the day up there. Here's a look at the radar. So as we pop you back up on the precision lawn and landscape radar, you can see that there are some showers moving through Thief River Falls. These are non-severe. They're moving northeast at about 30 miles per hour. Crookston getting some rain showers. And here comes another batch for Beltrami, another batch to Fertile, another batch making its way into Ada. And this yellow, this is just a persistent moderate to heavy rain. It's like raining kind of cats and dogs at times. In Twin Valley right now, you're probably seeing that on Highway 9. And Gary, look at Gary. You're right on the edge of the green and the red there on Highway 32, rather, I should say, for Twin Valley. So that's what's going on there. Monoman, some wet rain making its way through your neck of the woods. Look at Fargo Moorhead. We have a lightning strike right down here by Comstock. So Tiffany, if you're watching, some lightning in your area as we take a look all the way south to Wapits and Breckenridge, the Chihinkapazoo, seeing some showers of heavy rain, thunder, and lightning. Fergus Falls, you also are getting some scattered showers of rain. All of this nonsense here that is working its way into Valley City, that's the strongest that we have left. Some small hail for most of these cells now, and there is still an active warning, but looking at the latest radar scans here, we can all see that the pinks are starting to wane, and the risk is starting to go a little bit for severe storms there. Bismarck and points west, though, you've got some pretty stout thunderstorms down here to the west of Bismarck, making its way into Stark County in areas mainly to the east of you in Dickinson. And then as we look down south, well, these cells not quite as strong as they were either up near Mott, but along the border here, going into McIntosh, south of Lemon, I should say east of Lemon, this cell here is still pretty stout, working right along, skirting right along the Sioux County border with South Dakota there. So that's what's going on there. We have active storms that are making their way all the way in the Aberdeen area. Whoopsie. I want to try to go into Aberdeen's radar and show you what's heading there. And out towards Sisseton. So the showers have exited Sisseton, are now pushing into Richland County. And for now, you're getting a break, but there's severe weather to your south and to your west near the state capitol there in Pierre. Harriet, good to have you on board from Harriet, South Dakota. Peggy, thank you so much for watching. Tyler, hey to you as well. So that's a look at the forecast right now. You want to know about the rain? Let's talk about rain. How much rain has fallen? Let's take a look at the Doppler radar estimates of rainfall from this system as it's worked its way through. Hail can disrupt some of these readings, but what you're going to notice, I see these little streaks across the map here. This is the Doppler radar in Aberdeen. So this is going to be good for looking at the rain that's hitting Aberdeen and along the South Dakota border. Where you see those heavier thunder showers, let me know if these rainfall estimates match with what's in your gauge when it's safe to go look. But the Gwinner area, 1 inch to 1.5 inches in and around Gwinner to Foreman. As we look out towards Milner, it was even heavier, probably closer to maybe 1 3/4 inches for many of you. That's the radar estimates. There was another heavy thunder shower that made its way through Lemoore County, down towards Dickey County and Oaks, and this has some areas, localized areas, that could have gotten upwards of 1.5 to 2 inches of rain. So that's a look at those areas. Down towards Sisseton, your rainfall amounts, it shows here an estimate of around 1/3 of an inch to 2/10 of an inch. And as you get down in towards the Britton, South Dakota area, not as much in Britton, maybe 2/10 of an inch or so, but as you go just south of you, a cell made its way through with 1.25 inches. the way things look. Now let's switch over to the Mayville radar and check out what these storms now making their way through. And again, it rained for the better part of the day up in the Grand Forks area. Farther away from the radar, these estimates do get to be a little bit tough, but would love to see your reports nonetheless. So let's take a look at the rainfall estimates south of Crookston. So this is going to be in that, Beltrami. How about that? 1.5 inches just outside of Beltrami. So we look in town there. If you happen to be right in metropolitan Beltrami here, estimates about 1.3 inches. Let me know if that's pretty close to what you got. You get outside of town here, it drops off a little bit, but still a fair amount of rain, upwards of a half of an inch or so. So Polk County getting some good rain. Crookston, not as much there, around 0.3 of an inch. And again, looking down to the south near the FM area, that first original punch of showers and thunder showers hit the western edges and northern edges of the metro. So as we look in here, there was more rainfall estimated by radar in and around Georgetown to Craigness and all the way up toward the Harwood area, where it's estimating about 0.8 of an inch. And that went through Mapleton with about 0.6 to 0.8 of an inch of rain there. And that one, Emden, getting some rain of nearly an inch south of town, all the way to Enderlin and the Enderlin area with anywhere from 0.75 of an inch to an inch of rain there. So that's a look at our rainfall estimates so far. Still, things have been raining pretty good in the DL area throughout the afternoon. Radar estimates are about 1/3 of an inch. So that's what's going on with the rainfall. And this rain is going to continue to pile up all night and much of the day tomorrow. And then again, some of you seeing some snowflakes possibly mixing in up along the international border. That's a quick update. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. It is now 7:45, so we've got you caught up with the latest storm warnings in our area. And I can say as we cross the bridge here that the warning for Stutsman County has been allowed to expire. It looks like that is done. The radar showing these storms, the reflectivity is not as strong. Look at Jamestown, though. Boy, that's a gully washer right there. Frog strangler going through the region. That's going to give a nice drink of water to central Stutsman County right now. Is there hail with that? Possibly some small soft hail, but that does look about it. Let's go ahead and look at the information from the radar scan here. There is a probability, 80% probability of hail, but that's regular sized hail of about 1/2 inch in diameter. The chance of severe hail is very low with this particular cell. Only 30% chance of seeing some significant hail of severe size from that. The rest of these cells, not as much with regards to that. So this is becoming a heavy rain event for us. Some gusty winds, upwards of 45 miles per hour will be possible from these storms. But even in the severe thunderstorm watch area here in southeast North Dakota, the risk of the severe storms now, not as bad. That second wave, though, out by Pierre, that wave is stronger. That second wave out west of Bismarck, a little stronger, but it's also showing some signs of, hey, Alexandra, thank you. I'm going to pass your report on right now to the National Weather Service. Alexandra says marble size hail. Alexandra, can I ask you a question? Marbles are kind of difficult to gauge because there's different size marbles. There's those, what do you call them? The boulders, the cat's eyes, and the steelies, all the different sizes. Would you say closer to a penny, a dime, anything like that is a little helpful? Or even if you can grab the biggest stone when it's safe to do so and just measure it, that would be very, very helpful. But I'll pass along your report of some hail in the Jamestown area. Based on the radar scan that I have here, it looks like it's just now exiting north parts of town up by the airport. So you can let me know if it's all done too there. Alexandria, thank you for your report. I sure appreciate it. Alexandra, thank you so much. And I'll pass that on to the Weather Service. And out to the west of Bismarck, we still have an active severe thunderstorm that is warned for. Now south of Mott there, you can see that looks like a windy storm to me. There's another one down here by Morristown heading into McIntosh. That one's even stronger. Gusty winds will probably be the main threat from those storms. It does not look like to me we're picking up or detecting huge hail from those cells at this particular time. So those too are starting to wind down in intensity. That's a look at the weather situation right now. Your forecast does look like we're going to see this rain all the way through the night. The latest models will be rolling in. I will have an update. What about Breckenridge and Campbell? Vicki, I can tell you, I'll go ahead and go back to this Aberdeen radar, or let's go to the Mayville radar. So we got a band of heavy rain in Wahpeton, Breckenridge right now, down south towards Campbell. We got some thunder and lightning making its way through. The risk of severe, you are in the watch in these areas, or very close to the severe thunderstorm watch. But the risk for severe storms has really diminished. Where we see this just widespread heavy rain working its way into Fergus Falls now. That's what you have. Could you get some hail from time to time with one of these cells that pops through? Yes, you could get some small soft hail, but I'd be surprised if it was too big heading into the later evening hours. This second wave, though, is pushing its way in, and a couple of these cells may bolster up. There's a little more energy with those. But as we showed you earlier, the energy in the atmosphere north of the watch area, not good. So I don't think we have too much of a chance of severe weather in Fargo. The fact that you got some hail in Jamestown, that tells me that that air is a little bit less stable up there. So you got some hail out of that storm, to be honest. So that's what it looks like there. No severe weather, Gary, for Grand Forks. I think garden variety showers, maybe a few rumbles working their way through. And then north of you tomorrow, maybe a flake in towards Walhalla. All right. That's a quick update. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. If storms approach your area, know that they could become severe. The trend has been downward in intensity. The strongest cell in our area is right over Jamestown now, with some lightning and some hail that's reported to be marble-sized. And I appreciate all your reports, your photos. Upload them right here, and I'll share them with everybody. A few sprinkles in Fergus Falls reported. Thank you so much. A few cracks of thunder in Comstock. Thanks so much, Tiffany. Good to have all of you on board. Until next time, stay tuned.